Path Media.
For those of you who are overthinkers, this is it's going to be a tough thing to do, to make a quick decision and get into action, because you're going to want to try to think of the best possible outcome, right? Oh, if I do this, what if I do this? This will happen better. And what if I do this? Maybe not, because that'll happen. You get in this loop of trying to kind of logic and rationalize, the decision that you need to make before you've actually made the decision.
Hi, my name is Ronnie Cruz. After almost 2 decades as a career network marketer, I realized that despite continual work on my personal and professional development, that I had hit a massive brick wall. So I took a deep and honest look at myself, top to bottom, hoping to find answers. And my search led me to one conclusion. The definitions I held of my business, of my world, of my life were the very things holding me back. If I wanted to change, if I wanted to grow beyond my current circumstances, I had to wipe the slate clean and redefine. This show is dedicated to helping you identify the belief systems, the mindsets, the very definitions that have held you back, and then help you break through those limitations to finally create the life you've been working so hard to achieve. Welcome to the Redefine Podcast.
All right, happy podcast day to you. Welcome to the show if you're brand new. And of course, if you are an existing listener, welcome back. Thanks for tuning in. If you are an existing listener and or viewer, you might recognize where I am right now. back at my mom's house. Except it's a little different. Obviously, it's completely empty, so there might be some echo in the audio. But also, the big green wall is gone. The big green wall behind me is no longer there. So I just wanted to show it to you. Anyways, neither here nor there. Today, I want to talk about efficiency. We have covered prioritization pretty extensively in the last handful of episodes, nailing down those 3 to 5 most important things that you want to achieve so that you can live the life that you want to live, right? So that you can have the life experience that you want to have. Very, very important. We only get one go. Once you have those things nailed down, then it's really, really important to work on your efficiency, right? Really focus on prioritizing those things, those activities that will move the needle towards your goals. Efficiency, my definition of efficiency is the quickest and shortest path to execution, right? The quickest and shortest path to execution. It's not the quickest and shortest path to outcome, because outcomes we can't control. Outcomes are unpredictable. What we can control is our actions, right? We can control our execution of those actions. And so finding the quickest and shortest path to the execution is very, very important. Now, the first thing that you have to do is figure out what those activities are. And I don't know what they are for you, depending on what you're trying to achieve. Figure out what those activities are that are gonna move the needle towards your goals, and then prioritize them on a day-to-day. Here's the thing, modern life, we can fill our time with a bunch of stuff that isn't necessarily gonna move the needle, right? Yeah, we have to do them, the laundry, the dishes, things like that. We have to do them, but we end up kind of prioritizing those unconsciously because it's habit, it's easy, right? But again, on the scale of importance in terms of your goals, they're pretty low, and they could probably wait until you get the important activities done. So that's the first step. Figure out what your activities are and what they need to be to achieve your goals, and prioritize them on your day-to-day activities, right? The second thing is, the second place you can trim the fat is stop overthinking, right? When I say the shortest path to execution, sometimes we have to sit and think about what that shortest path is, figuring that out. The example that I've used here in the past, especially pertinent to being where I am right now at my mom's house, is, I would sit and think and plan out how I'm going to clean or what I'm going to put where and what I'm going to throw away, sorting everything out in my head, creating a plan of action, and then executing. Like this morning, as a matter of fact, that's what I was doing here in the house. The first hour of my morning, I had to, kind of just create a plan, take stock of all the stuff that I had to take care of in the house, in the garage especially, and figure out where everything was, right? And so once I figured all that out, and of course I was still kind of waking up, so it's the first hour of my day, so it's a good transition to the waking hours, right? Going from sleep to waking. Taking that hour to plan it out then allowed me to execute and get everything done within 3 to 4 hours max. max. And it was a lot of stuff, mind you. I had to sort. I had to sort which is going in the dump, which is coming home with me. I had to go to the dump. I had to go to the donation center. I had a lot to do, and I got it all done very, very quickly. And it's because I figured out the plan, right? I figured out the quickest path to execution. Now, here's the thing. There's lots of different options, right? So you got to really focus and not be scatterbrained for one, because your attention can pull you everywhere. If you're scatterbrained, you're going to get scattered results, and you have to focus. Yeah, you can't have a short attention span. You really got to focus and hone in on the target and the thing that you're trying to execute. If you have a short attention span, you're going to only get short-term results, right? That first hour, while I was kind of planning everything out in my head, I was also walking around and kind of doing things, on autopilot, and it really got me nowhere. I didn't get anything done during that time because it was scattered. There was no focus to that effort. But once I figured out what I wanted to do and my plan, then it was execution time. So you really have to find that. Find that quickest path and be focused, and also decide quickly, because your brain can go in a million different directions. You can overthink and trying to figure out the best plan. You can overthink it, and for those of you who are overthinkers, this is it's going to be a tough thing to do, to make a quick decision and get into action, because you're going to want to try to think of the best possible outcome. Right? Oh, if I do this, what if I do this? This will happen better. And what if I do this? Maybe not, because that'll happen. You get in this loop of trying to kind of logic and rationalize, the decision that you need to make before you've actually made the decision. And then nothing ends up happening. And then, 4 hours later, you're still sitting there trying to figure it out. Well, meanwhile, I got it done already. Right? That's how I end up being more efficient. And it's not to say that the outcome always works out the way you want to work out. Sometimes things go wrong. Maybe the recycling center was closed today. Maybe the donation center, wasn't accepting what I was gonna bring them. Doesn't matter. I was executing. If I need to adjust, I can think of a new plan and adjust. I'll still get things done faster than the person that's sitting there and overthinking and trying to think of all the what ifs and all the different contingencies and things that could happen, or outcomes. Really, I mean, it's a loop of trying to predict outcomes when outcomes can't be predicted, number one. And of course, nothing happens if you're not executing. No outcomes actually happen if you're not executing, right? Right. So it's all just getting trapped in your own head. So really, really focus. Decide on a plan pretty quickly. It's okay if that plan doesn't go right, because you can readjust. But once you decide quickly on the course of action, so that you can execute. The faster you execute, the quicker you'll get to the result. Again, even if the path is a little wonky, you can adjust and execute again. Right? The quickest path to execution, guys. It's really, really important. That's what's going to make you the most efficient. As opposed to, filling your time with mundanities and filling your time with sitting and thinking about, overthinking about what ifs and trying to rationalize decisions before you've ever made a decision, right? So that's it. Efficiency. Trim the fat in your activity, trim the fat in your thought. I guess that's where I'm going to end with, right? It's all about trimming the fat up here. Is what I'm thinking about right now really helping me move closer to my goals? Is it helping me take one step closer to the execution of the activity? Or am I just sitting here thinking about it and overthinking it, right? So execution, everything starts in thought, but when it comes to efficiency, you got to get really efficient up here so that you can be efficient in your execution and your action. That's where it starts. So that's it. The shortest path to execution. All right, that's going to do it before this episode goes off the rails and I start rambling on about something else. We'll catch you, have a great weekend, first of all, and then we'll catch you on Tuesday with a fresh new one. So until then, be well, be safe. We'll see you in the next episode.